Hey, limitless beings, Sky Hanley here, alignment coach and business mentor, bringing you an awesome video today on six. What am I bringing you? 6 different reasons that kind of let you know that you need to put some boundaries in place, right? Now, if you see me glance over here, that's because I can't remember past 2 things, so there's 6, thank God. Hopefully we'll stay on track, right? So yeah, super important, this one. I remember having to learn this in my own business experience, my own business journey over the years as well, because I just didn't have boundaries in place. And what it meant was that people were messaging me at every hour of the night and the morning. I would work all weekend long, face down in a phone. I didn't kind of have structures and systems in place to help facilitate anything. Everyone had direct access to me, like all this sort of craziness. And it was just becoming like, not only this like overwhelming like head noise, but, even a little bit, it was actually brought to my attention. My partner was like, you're giving away so much free advice, and it's not about, like the money of that. And he's like, but everybody just knows to like just reach out to you and to just, speak to you. And literally, because at the time I had my nutritional medicine clinic. And for me, it was like, everyone was just hitting me up constantly, for, more nutritional advice and more nutritional advice. And, what about this and what's that? And then asking all these questions. And the thing is, I'm a human of integrity. So if somebody says, oh, hey, Sky, what's the best magnesium, to take? Like, you have no idea how many follow-up questions that fucking, brings up in my mind, So it would always end up being these, epically long conversations where I'm literally basically doing a case study, on someone to then be able to answer their question. And that's what I was doing, like I'd be like, what about this? What about that? And have you got anything, to give the best advice possible. And then, and then pointing them in the direction of the place that they would then be able to get the product that they're after, and then And so again, as I said, it wasn't about the money of that. It was about the energy exchange of that I was so, the give-receive cycle was not, in play. And so, I needed to put boundaries in place to be protecting of my own energy. And I learned that lesson the hard way, and you guys, you may have heard me tell a story about, making myself really sick one Easter weekend because I just didn't have that mental barrier between what a client was going through and how I sort of felt about that. And that was a really interesting, lesson in my own existence, to be able to put up boundaries, and how important, so that you can show up for your clients, your tribe, show up from a place of show up from the highest, vibration that you can turn up for them from, right? So that you can give them the best, the best of you. But if we're so burnt out, stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, then nobody's getting the best of us. So look, if you are new to my YouTube channel, we're not done yet though, just so you know, but be sure to hit the like or subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with all the most amazing videos that we're putting out. Choked my way through that sentence today, didn't I? Threw the word whore in there too, because why not, right? So look, we're talking about how to recognize that you need to set some boundaries. And I'm going to give you 6 different reasons, or 6 different, not reasons, but like examples of what you might be noticing, what could be coming up for you that, as I said, like if you've got some of these things happening, it's time to set boundaries, all right? So let me run through them. Number 1, you are feeling overwhelmed. All right. And let me tell you, I was feeling overwhelmed. Like I said, I was like, I was new to that style of business at the time. So I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to give, and 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 I've got to give, energy. And I couldn't not, and I couldn't put my phone down, and not like in a, yay, I love social media kind of a way, but in like people are asking me questions. And if they're asking me a question, it means I have to answer. And then how can I not? And like, you could feel the fucking anxiety in that. And that's how it was showing up for me, right? And so I learned that lesson of, needing boundaries, because I was in that place of constant overwhelm, or like data input, you know what I mean? Like it was just like, like always constantly in my brain, oh my God, and it was becoming too much. So if you're finding yourself in that position as well, where you're like, oh my God, like it's too much, it's all the time, I feel like I'm just all giving, and this might be to clients and non-clients, so sometimes clients, we're so used to giving that the boundaries for clients, and we're going to talk about that, might start blurring a little bit, and we have to almost like retrain our clients, how to treat us so that they know the appropriate avenues to contact you and when, perhaps hours that you're contactable. And I don't mean 9 to 5, a lot of us run businesses online these days. It's not quite like this 9 to 5 thing, but it might be like, for an hour or something, every day at 2:00 in the afternoon, you guys that, dump your questions into our social media group, right? And then, for an hour, I always pop in there and I answer, some dot points, like answering some questions for them, right? Or maybe if they're your clients, maybe you run like a 20, 30, 40-minute Q&A on a Thursday every single week so they can jump in and anybody who wants to workshop something can do it then. All right, versus them constantly hitting your messenger inbox, your emails, and that's one of the things too. And look, literally, point number one, if you're beginning to feel overwhelmed, then that's a real sign that you probably need some boundaries. Point number 2 is that maybe your growth has gone faster than your old ways, your old habits, your old processes, your old systems. All right. So what I mean by that is, and again, I learned this lesson too. If people can text you, if they can call you up on the phone, if they can email you, if they can find you on Messenger or or messenger you, or if they're also posting into a community group, it's too many different ways and avenues, and it actually again becomes overwhelming and hard to manage in a growing, scaling business. So you might start feeling overwhelmed. So again, back to the other point, it sometimes means that you need to either retrain your potential client base and have a structured system, for like leads, how they come through, who, what step of the process, what does that look like? How do you talk to them? Like when in the process do you talk to them, and over what, over what platform and things like that, because there's so many platforms out there now, right? But it's your business, it's your life, and you're allowed to set it up the way that, facilitates existence for you, all right? And sometimes if you've kind of brought on more clients and more clients and more clients, but you haven't updated your systems or your habits, that can sometimes start being overwhelming as well, because exactly, some people are texting you, you've got these people who don't text, they email you, or these other people that are in a group and then they this, that, and the other, and it's all too much. So we have to retrain everyone. We have to create a new system first, and then we have to retrain existing clients in the new process too. Make sense? So another way to recognize that, and you keep seeing me because I'm just checking my little notes over there, is that you are doing repetitive tasks. All right. So there is so much amazing automation out there these days that you could get yourself a VA, you could, use an Excel spreadsheet, you could have an FAQ on a website, and so you just send people a link when they're asking questions. You could make a video. I do this one quite often. I answer every question that I could possibly think of, or the main questions that I keep getting repetitive. I'll make a video about it, and then literally my assistant, when people ask about that, she will tag them into that video, because I'm quite happy to jump on video. It's, easy for me to answer stuff this way, but maybe you want to type something out, and remember, it's a work in progress. So if you start to find that you keep getting new questions, if you want to add that to a new video or to a new FAQ, found on your website or in your community group or whatever that looks like, you can add new stuff. That's okay too. You don't have to have all the answers now, but you can dot point out a few things. All right. Or if you have systems like you're sending out a newsletter, but you're literally doing that manually every single week somehow, versus, creating some kind of automation or a streamline, so you're not creating everything from scratch each and every time. Again, these sorts of things, if you don't have those systems in place, it will make you feel overwhelmed, which means we probably need some boundaries. And that includes, boundaries on yourself and your own practices within your business. All right. Now, point number 4 is you are pushing too much, alrighty? And this can definitely happen. Too much hustle, too much busyness. You know, it's so not fashionable to be busy anymore, right? We want grace, flow, and ease. So if you are literally like fucking hustle, like hamster, you know, hamster on the hamster wheel kind of thing, like all the time, you know, that really is another sign that you need to start putting some boundaries in place, all right? Make sure that you're having a day off or, you know, or 2 days off and an afternoon off through the week, or that you're utilizing, or rather you're practicing some form of light force energy, which means that you're looking after you first. Because again, like, you know, you are probably your business, right? If you're watching this, I imagine you are your business. You are the greatest asset to your business. And so therefore, you need to be coming from a most amazing, you know, empowered, awesome place, you know, full of light force energy, not overwhelmed, not, you know, no systems, everybody's just going free for all, you know, not having the help that you need, doing all the repetitive tasks because nobody can do it the way that you do it, you know, air quotes, right? Like I've heard that a million times. I say that sometimes myself, but at some point in time, we have to get the fuck over ourselves and hand things over, because it takes a village, right, to run a business, especially if you're trying to scale and grow. It takes a village. So what can we take out of your hands and give to somebody else? Put that boundary in place. That be their task now. You know, even if it's get a VA for 5 hours a week to do a couple of particular things, you know, that takes it off your hands and puts it into theirs. Oh, like perfect, right? Perfect. All right, point number 5 is you are feeling like your clients are no longer treating you the way that you would like to be treated. All right. So maybe everything like has been so like wayward and a bit crazy and out of control and stuff like that for a certain amount of time. And maybe you haven't been very assertive with your boundaries. So people are paying like whenever they feel like it, or, you know, they're not paying on time, or they're contacting you on your mobile at 11 o'clock at night by text and you're actually fucking replying to them. That one's on you, buddy. You know, or you want to be super liked. And so you don't want to put, you know, you don't want to put people off or something like that. So, you know, your boundaries have been a bit, you know, lackluster, but now you're feeling overwhelmed and showing up for all of your clients, you know, not from the most amazing space because you're exhausted and there's no kind of system and continuity in your business going on, which is going to cap you at a certain money level, and it's going to cap you at a certain client level, because frequency, right? Like the energy of that, like you literally, it's like, it's client ceiling. You're hitting the ceiling. You know, the universe is not going to let you call in more clients when you can't facilitate the systems and the habits and the processes with the ones that you already have. All right. So if you're wanting to scale and grow your business, you need to put the systems and the boundaries in place so that everyone is doing things in the most efficient way possible that gives you life force energy. That means everyone gets the same kind of service, more or less, right? Across the board. And they're doing it in that sort of efficient way, which means that you're not losing all this brain space and time having to chase a million different things up in a million different places. It's not strategic, right? Like it is not, you know, it's not the best way to grow a business by any means at all. All right. And now point number 6 is you are becoming frustrated that the rules are not being followed. All right. So it just means, as we said before, that you need to retrain your existing clients, or perhaps you need to put some more barriers up between potential clients and how they can get in contact with you and things like that, you know, or, you know, lean into other people as well. And yes, they might not be able to do it as good as you can. However, like if you're becoming overwhelmed or frustrated, or you're starting to think, fuck, maybe I should go back to some other kind of a job. I don't want to work for myself anymore. Like all of that is just information for us to go, okay, maybe your boundaries are actually being a little bit, you know, bent and broken at the moment. And it's time to retrain your existing clientele, put some structures and systems in place around, you know, potential client onboarding, bringing them into your business, right? Because we don't want to put up too many barriers to make it hard for people to join our business, but we want to make sure that there is a streamlined system so that it's easy for you to make the money that you so deserve while making the impact with the most amount of people, because why the fuck not? That's super exciting too. All right, you guys, so that is 6 different reasons or 6 different reasons why, you probably, things that could be showing up in your existence in your life as to why you might need to put some boundaries in place. If you'd like to continue the conversation, be sure to head over to our Facebook community group, Soul Empire Unleashed, so that you can stay up to date with all of the most amazing content that we're putting out in there, and reach out to me, have a chat through the community group. Boundary, teaching you how to contact me. I show up in there, I'll answer your questions. I actually love doing that. So yeah, definitely, say hi. And I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Bye.